before, and I've heard this rumor a lot. All right, so in Endgame, uh, uh, what's her name? Who was representing Wakanda? Is it Okoye? Okoye?
Oh, the woman with the
Yeah,
shield, the shield woman. I don't know her
I
name.
think her name's
The shield
Okoye.
woman.
I can't remember. But I'm bad with names if they're not like actual superhero names. She mentioned something about undersea tremors, and then
Oh yeah, the first mutant, right?
yeah,
Atlantis.
Atlantis, Namor, the good Aquaman, the
And
original Aquaman. In fact, Namor was like the one character Marvel did first,
and to be fair, it would also call back
and
to the Iron Man 2,
mhm.
where when you look in the background,
Yeah, they
he's
have
yeah,
Atlantis
they
on
have
it.
Atlantis circled in there.
And I love Namor because he's the first anti-hero in comic books. He when he was premiered in in the 30s, 1 week he would be the hero and 1 week he would be the villain, and he did not give a fuck. He had his motivation. Sometimes it lined up with the rest of humanity, sometimes it didn't, and he just did it. And in the 30s, they're publishing comics where the main character might be the good guy or the bad guy. And I mean, that's just wild. That's just wild to me, And he's been Namor been a badass since before it was cool to be a
And since
badass.
they actually have the mutants back
Yeah.
under their right, it would be interesting to see Atlantis.
So,
Well, the Marvel Atlantis
and
make an appearance.
the other thing about Atlantis is they have been rivals with Wakanda many, many times.
You see,
So
this is why I want to do more videos with you, Joe. You know this shit. You know what I don't.
they're Namor might be the best Black Panther antagonist, um, in my opinion. He doesn't have a very good. That's the thing about Black Panther is he doesn't have a very deep rogues gallery, and he works better when he's on a team. Um, he really is. There's a lot of characters people say, well, this is Marvel's Batman, this is Marvel's Batman. It's
Right.
Black Panther. Um, he's the richest. He's the smartest.
He's the king.
He is like just a little bit above normal people when it comes to physical stuff, comparative to superheroes. I mean, because in the real world, he'd kick everybody in the world's ass. But superhero wise, I mean, he's just a little bit better than Batman in every respect. He's Marvel's Batman, but uh, he doesn't work as well on his own as he does like as part of a team. But I mean, like, I really like Black Panther, but Black Panther versus Namor is like some of my favorite storytelling.
Do you think Marvel or Disney, do you think they're foreseeing something like that?
Yeah, I mean, they got to put Namor in there eventually. I don't think they can give him his own movie. I think he's in the same situation as Hulk.
Right.
Where Universal or Paramount or whoever has the distribution rights. They don't have the rights to make movies of the characters, but if a movie of the character gets made, then they can distribute it, which means they
Kind
get
of like
all
what
the
they
money.
did with Thor Ragnarok, where Hulk was there.
Yeah, so Namor and Hulk aren't going to get their own movies. They're going to be in other people's movies.
Well, that would definitely be interesting, and I didn't know that, so I might, if they do go something like that, Atlantis versus Wakanda, that could be interesting. Now,
yeah.
Are you good? Did you get it out of your system?
Okay.
All right. Everyone's favorite superhero. You ready for this? Captain Marvel 2.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Well, I feel like from some of the things I saw in Endgame, I feel like hopefully they're starting to learn their lesson about what they did wrong.
Well, the thing is, when it came to actual shooting, Brie Larson shot Endgame first before she shot Captain Marvel.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so.
But
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I actually did not know
Yeah,
that.
she
But that
she
makes
shot
sense, though.
Endgame first,
No,
and
that
then she
does
went to
totally
Captain
make
Marvel.
sense. So, I'm hoping they can learn some things. We'll see how the Black Widow movie plays out.
I'm pressing X to doubt very heavily right
we'll
now.
see how when does the next Wonder Woman movie come out? Is it gonna be out before Captain Marvel?
It's gonna be out before,
Okay.
and they released the movie trailer posted. It's very heavily 80s theme, and some people gave it shit because like, oh, it's too bright and wavy. It's like, dude, that was the 80s.
Flippin' 80s.
What do you expect?
But hopefully they can look at movies like Wonder Woman, hopefully Black Widow, the next Wonder Woman movie, any movie that Mila Jovovich has ever been in, any movie that, not any movie, but any action movie that like Angelina Jolie's been in. Like, look at all the female action heroes and female action movies. Sigourney Weaver, the original Terminator movie. Look at how those female action heroes are written.
Terminator 2, mostly for Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Because Terminator 1, she was the damsel in distress, and the story was more
She was the damsel in distress till the end. Did you ever watch?
I did. I watched it recently.
Did you ever watch your Terminator?
She might have killed the Terminator. But that was because.
But that was character development.
I understand it was. I'm not doubting from the character.
She started out a weak, scared little girl and developed over the course of the movie into the mother of the motherfucking revolution at the end when she is like, you're terminated, motherfucker. Boom.
I'm not denying that,
character
Joe.
development.
I'm just saying the first
That's what Captain Marvel was lacking.
True.
Is that she was
and
Johnny Badass from the very beginning, and it was only this thing in her neck that was holding her back, and that's bullshit. Nobody likes that.
Well, since
people want heroes to start out weak and get stronger through personal growth.
Well, since the scribes, is it the scrolls or the scribes?
The scrolls.
Okay, since the scroll, they're good guys, as you saw in Captain Marvel. Since the scrolls are good guys, how do you think they're going to even play with Captain Marvel 2? What could they do to try to get people interested?
There's got to be some bad scrolls, otherwise the scrolls are wasted. Like, I mean, they're doing this in the comic books too, so I don't know if this is just some concerted effort to make the scrolls good guys. There's no reason to. They're bad. They've been bad guys since they first showed up.
Well, to be fair,
that might have made me more mad than anything else. It's like, oh yeah, the Skrulls are the good guys, the Krees are the bad guys. Which, I mean, the Krees were never really the good guys either. They were both kind of dicks. Why can't they just both be bad guys?
It was a giant dick measuring competition between the war.
I mean, you got the Krees are the dicks and the Skrulls are the assholes. How about that?
There you go. The South Park, what was it? A douche and a turd sandwich.
Oh no, I'm thinking more about Team America, World Police.
America! Fuck yeah.
The
Captain Marvel's coming to save the motherfucking day.
Dicks, assholes, and pussies conversation.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, none of them were really all that good. Any of them could have been bad guys.
Well, I don't know too much about Captain Marvel. I know her comic's been rebooted a ton of times.
She's another character that there's a lot of stories I like to have Captain Marvel in them. I don't think she does that well on her own.
I don't think
Kind of like Black Panther. Except Black Panther's a lot better on his own than Captain Marvel.
True.
And a lot of her best stories were when she was Miss Marvel or when she was Warbird. She kind of went through her own demon in a bottle. Like bout with alcoholism. And see, a lot of people don't even remember her ever being Warbird. And I really liked her in the reboot of the Ultimates. But that was a team book. Like the most OP team. Like she was the second weakest character on that team.
Hey, maybe you'll be lucky though. maybe Captain Marvel 2 will give us Squirrel Girl for no reason whatsoever.
They've ruined Squirrel Girl. I don't even care.
Well, I know you're just so looking forward to
Squirrel Girl was like a funny meme for like a year,
and then
it just got overdone. Like Marvel jumped on it, and now the Squirrel Girl comic is like the get along game. It's the same bullshit as everything else they put out. So.
Well, I'm gonna put it in a quick nutshell, in a glass bottle. We don't know what to expect from Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna suck.
Probably. Now,
but I'll give it a chance. I mean, I'm not gonna like not see it just because it's Captain Marvel starring Brie Larson. if you can tell a good story and get some good acting out of her, competent acting, it doesn't
not
have
just
to be good. I'm not gonna raise the bar that high. Just
you have to lower the bar to enjoy them.
Give me 3 emotions. That's all I'm asking for. I just want 3.
Just like happy, pissed, and a good mixture in between. And maybe a little bit of tears here and there.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, with Captain Marvel 2 out of the way, which I think me and you both, since the Skrulls are kind of the good guys now, it's kind of hard to tell what they're going to do.
That really is... I mean, the more I think about it, that really is the most disappointing part of that movie to me. Is like, oh, big twist. But, I mean, you've ruined the Skrulls. You ruined Secret Invasion. How is that ever going to work? Super Skrulls were terrifying in the comics, and now, but if they're the good guys, then, I mean, who fucking cares?
Maybe it'll be the Creeds.
Like, he put 4 superheroes' powers in an already shape-shifting alien, and they can look like anybody. I mean, that was
top quality.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from Captain Marvel, because I don't want you to relive that Skrull moment.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, this is quality stuff. Now, this one has been receiving a lot more attention, I believe. You see, we went through a lot of the other movies. You gave a very brief description, of which, honestly, I really do enjoy. But the biggest one that people are talking about is Thor, Love and Thunder, and on how Natalie Portman is now Mighty Thor. Because for some reason, the Mary Sue claims that we can't call her female Thor. We have to call her Mighty Thor.
I mean, you can call her whatever you want to.
Exactly.
But, like, look, I know a lot of people are upset about it, and their point is like, oh, between Captain Marvel and this, and it's going to be all women, and it's going to be all feminists, but, I mean, you know, it's a thing that happened in the comics, and it's not just a thing that happened in the comics, because, like, not everything that happened in the comics is good, God knows.
No.
I mean, Lord knows, just because it happened in the comics.
Mighty Thor only had like 30 issues, I believe.
I don't know. But, like, look, Jason Aaron's run on Thor, which introduced the female Thor, he's probably the best Thor writer of all time.
Okay.
There's a lot of parts of this situation I'm not happy with. The number one thing being that the next Thor story we should have got, and maybe it'll be in this movie as like flash, because it would appropriately be as flashbacks, is Gore the God Butcher. And I don't know if you know who Gore the God Butcher is.
We talked about it once.
Gore the God Butcher is the best Thor villain. She was just in this one arc, and it was basically a flashback. He's like actually the source of the symbiotes. Because he had this weapon like the Necro Blade. I'm going to call it the Necro Blade. I might be wrong on that.
Someone in the comments is typing right now.
But it's just this weapon, and it enhances all of your abilities, just like the symbiote does.
Right.
Except it can take like a relatively normal guy and enhance him up to the level of he can just kill gods left and right. And everyone he kills makes him stronger. And
blood for the blood god. Wait, what?
But see, like, he didn't want to be... You just need to read that. Like, I'm not even gonna ruin it. There's so many good moments in it.
All right.
But
all
it's
right.
like it's the best Thor story. It's the best Thor villain, and it happens right before Jane Foster, because Thor becomes unworthy of Mjolnir because Nick Fury, and let's forget about everything that leads up to this, but Nick Fury basically whispered in Thor's ear, Gore was right. And look, there's too much to explain, but Gore is the reason that Thor became unworthy. And that's the reason Jane Foster picked up Mjolnir. And she was worthy. And she was a really good Thor. And there were some good stories that came out of it. I mean, Jason Aaron is not a hack writer. That's what I'm saying. Okay. There's a lot of bullshit hack writers at Marvel that they're not even writing superhero stories. All right, they're just not.
No.
They're writing a bunch of girls get together and sit around and eat food and talk about how awesome girls are. I mean, these are
this. I gotta share this with you real quick.
Okay.
My girlfriend actually was talking to me about this because we were talking about the Marvel, personally as well. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she said, "You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna get real popular the first year." And I looked at her and said, "Well, why just the first year?" And she said, "Because women get bored quick. We're going to go to these movies and go, yeah, girl power all the way. And then we're just going to leave." Mm-hmm. And I was just like, well, damn. And she's a Marvel fan, too.
Well, that's kind of what happened. This era of Marvel that people refer to as SJW Marvel. There was a period where there's a lot of female characters being changed to female, new, like a lot of diversity characters, and there was like a year where they had really good sales, and then they have steadily declined and just got worse and worse every year, even though they keep trying the same crap.
And it's not just Marvel either. It's comic books as a whole. It's just
Marvel's the worst one.
Marvel is the worst one.
That's not.
And DC has came out and announced that they're cutting I think 51 issues, I believe, during their next run. Mm-hmm. I mean, DC is really cutting down on their size. Mm-hmm. And it's really crazy to see what's happening. But with the Love and Thunder...
I mean, DC can basically stay in business with just Batman comics.
And Superman.
Be real. No, just Batman.
Just Batman?
I mean, Superman don't sell nearly what Batman does.
I'm Batman.
If they just published like 7 Batman comics a month and nothing else, it would probably have like #1 sales in the comic. Batman fans will buy anything with Batman's fucking name on it. Yeah.
And when you get down to it, Marvel has great characters, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they have the Batman character.
Well, I mean, it should be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the everyman character. And, he's been, the #1 seller. But Marvel's more about the teen books, and they always have been. That's why they dominated the 90s, because they had all these books with an X on the front of it. And all of their solo characters that did well were characters people knew from X-Men. So Marvel's about team books, like X-Men, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four.
And to add on top of that, I know in the 90s was the golden age, as of right now, for animated shows. Mm-hmm. But when you get to today's era, Marvel killed DC in the cinematic universe right now. Mm-hmm. DC had a very late start. They didn't know what the hell to be honest, as you told me once, DC could have had this business sold long ago, but they didn't. Because
they could have done it in the 90s.
They could have, but they didn't.
Oh.
But when you get to the animated movies, Marvel is just staggering, but DC is killing it in the animated movies.
Yeah, we'll see. The reason for both, why Marvel's so dominant in the live action, like the cinematic universe, is because they have Kevin Feige.
True, he has been
the
very
DC
crucial.
Animated movies are mostly because of just a handful of guys.
Old white man.
What's his name? Paul Dini, I think.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember.
they've just got like a couple of guys that have just basically been in charge of it since the days of Batman the Animated Series, which is
good show.
So good.
I have it on Blu-ray, folks. Good. It's worth it.
So anyway, and that's what it is. Like, if you can find one person that has a good vision for what this should be, and you let them just do it, not anything they want to do. I mean, it has to be a little bit of oversight, but basically, follow your vision, put everything together, and it's not some corporate exec, because it's what killed the DCE. That's one of the things that killed the DCEU, is you had a bunch of...
And unfortunately, as I said earlier, I know we weren't going to talk about this, but I do feel like it's kind of important to bring up. DC, these are just rumors and whispers. I got to make this clear, but DC's rumored that they're going to try to phase Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League out from the rest of their cinematic universe.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
No, and as I said, in Shazam, Superman had a clear reference. Batman had a clear reference. So did Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And it's just like, if they're going to phase out those 3 movies, were they the best movies? Of course not. I enjoyed them, but even I'll sit there and I'll admit,
but it's like,
they weren't bad. They weren't good.
Marvel's had some bad movies, and like, I'm not just talking about the one that you hate, but like Iron Man 2 was not very good. Iron Man 3 wasted the character of the Mandarin.
Oh, that was the other movie, that Kung Fu guy. He's getting
Shang-Chi, Master of Shang-Chi. I love Shang-Chi, and I'm excited about it. I know a lot of people are not excited about it, and look, shut up. Shang-Chi is awesome.
He said it, not me. Go after him.
Like, they're not regular superhero kind of stories, because they're kung fu stories from like the 70s when everything was fucking kung fu. Like, basically, Shang-Chi and Iron Fist were basically Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Didn't they have Iron Fist in one of their TV shows?
Yeah, on a Netflix TV show.
Do you think Iron Fist and Shang-Chi, the movie, could converge those two together?
They're not going to use Iron Fist from the Netflix TV shows.
Are you sure?
They're not going to use that guy.
Are you positive?
That guy was like the reason nobody liked the Netflix TV show, because otherwise the story was pretty good. But yeah, his first season, he was terrible. He was getting better the second season. Is he movie quality? No. He's not good enough to put in a multi-million-dollar movie that's expected to pull in $1 billion. Not putting that guy in there.
Well, are the shows in line with the cinematic universe right now?
They just make mention of like 1 or 2 incidents that happen in the MCU. So they make sure hey, this is the Marvel Universe. But these guys don't have anything to do with the Avengers.
Okay.
They don't even have anything to do with Spider-Man.
So we'll never see Punisher probably appear in the next Spider-Man.
Probably see. I mean, like, they basically, as soon as the Disney Plus thing got going, they were like, "Bye, Netflix. We're done with these." I feel like these characters are going to come back eventually, and they're just going to be. They might keep some, like, if they keep you need to keep Charlie Cox as Daredevil because he's perfect.
True.
The guy that plays Luke Cage he's pretty good as Luke Cage. I mean, like, you don't have to be an Academy Award winning actor to play Luke Cage.
No.
But the guy does a very good job. I mean, of being Luke Cage, basically, he would be fine. I think playing Luke Cage in a movie. The guy who plays Iron Fist is not good enough. The girl that plays
with the Phase 4 lineup, everything that's been talked about, even between Thor, Love and Thunder, Captain Whammon 2, Return to Wakanda 2, which if they truly do that Atlantis versus Wakanda thing, I think that would be awesome.
I mean, if they just at least set it up.
If they at least set it up.
I mean,
but do you, as the comic book fan and as well as the movie fan, how do you feel about Phase 4? Like, just in general.
I mean, I think it's okay. It's gonna be hard to be as big as Phase 3 because that was the end. That was the climax. So,
and I know there's a lot of people right now who are. I don't want to necessarily say they're done with Marvel. It's just they're taking hiatus for a while.
I mean, a lot of people straight up said, "I'm done with Marvel now." After that last movie, now are they done with Marvel? No, probably not.
Good question.
They're gonna get sucked back into some of these movies, and I don't know if there's enough people, the people that are like, "Oh, I'm done with Marvel now because I got my climax." That's what she said. And and now this next wave is just a bunch of SJW women. I don't think there's enough people to make that kind of
I don't
difference.
know. I do understand where these people are coming from because as someone who,
I mean, I see it. If you don't know the context of female Thor, then yeah, it seems that combined with Captain Marvel and Brie Larson and what that was, because that was when you combine Captain Marvel 1, Captain Marvel sequel, and female Thor. I don't think anybody sees the Black Widow movie that way because, like I said, I mean,
well, she's been there and she's
been around. She earned her own movie a long time ago.
Which that was a bullshit reason Marvel gave us, but you know.
Yeah. I would have loved to see the Black Widow movie like any time in the previous 3 phases. It's hard to be excited about it now. Thanks.
That's what I'm hearing a lot
Marvel.
of people saying.
I'm still gonna go see it because I mean I've been wanting to see it since.
I'll tell you what, when you go see it, I'll let you come on board and you can do a review.
Okay.
Joe, I think that's really all the time we have for this morning. Because I know you got to get home to your family. But
yeah. They want me to bring them some food.
You gotta go feed them. Anyway, thank you so much for the insight, and actually, thank you for explaining a few things. Because as a casual goer, I don't know this shit. I'm not gonna sit there and read the comics. That's why I got you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Marvel takes some of this for granted that people are just gonna know this shit. So
this is true. Well, folks, as always, the most informative and valuable Joe. Joe, thank you so much for coming on board. Guys, we'll see y'all later.
All right,
go home and feed your kids, man.
All right.
Oh, let's hope it all recorded one video this time.